when over the Christmas period, those people that have suffered huge elongated outages, it's really, really important to understand the system itself.
Yeah.
So we actually live with a hugely connected system, which is called the Swiss system. It's the Southwest Interconnected System. It's powers and poles. It's about, thousands and thousands of kilometres of powers and poles and infrastructure. And it goes as far up as Kalbarri, it goes out as far as Kalgoorlie and goes right down past Esperance, Albany, Perth, etc. So this particular system was built nearly 50 years ago. And with a 50-year lifespan, I'm really, really disappointed to tell people that we're at year 48, 49 of a system and no plans in place for replacement of system. And within those wires themselves, there's corrosion, and it's rapidly corroding. And every time we have a hot day, it overloads the system. And I won't go into the telecommunications part, but it actually does affect that as well. So we've got away with it over the years because industry has had constraints put on it so that residents doesn't get knocked out. But with the elongated days and weeks on end of power issues, it's pretty much knocked everyone out.
Yeah.
Now, we've seen recently the Kalbarri microgrid come online, which is saving them a lot of issues. But even so, that still needs the grid system. It's really just a backup. Dongra is experiencing outages every other day, sometimes 3 to 4 times a day. I spoke with Callum Kerr at Southerleys and, they've thrown out huge amounts of food. They're standing staff down. So it's affecting our local businesses. And whilst here in Geraldton, we're fairly well riding the waves. Over Christmas and New Year, we did not.
Yeah.
Now, just going back to 2010, if I may, back then, the Western Power did a whole of system plan review in preparation for the future. It was a different government.
Yep.
And at the time we had Outages in play, we had Extension Hill in play, we had Carrara, and we also had the port gearing up to need more power. So they put in plan a 2-stage process to replace or build up the system in stage 1 and stage 2. Now, stage 1 was to come up from down south up as far as Three Springs, and that would take on giving a feed out to Carrara, etc. So that was at a cost, I believe, of around 320 million. And then stage 2, which was the stage for Geraldton, was meant to come from Three Springs across to Mooninooka. Now, that was at a touted cost in the report of about 280 million. So when Outages fell over, obviously the capacity or the need for more capacity went out of the market. So stage 2 did not happen. Everything else did. Stage 1 happened. So fast forward 12 years, we're back in exactly the same situation, only worse because we now have a very aged system. So a little bit of a deeper dive, and I know Western Power is copping a lot of the flack from this, but we need to be reminded that it is a government agency and it's guided by government policy.
Exactly right.
So we've done a bit of a deep dive into the whole of system plan and found that, there is an energy mission task force, and they are the ones that actually decide the policies, and that comes from the Minister for Energy's office. I'm really, really concerned that they have not, in their 10-year plan, put in any kind of system to say that we will be relying on nothing but rooftop solar systems. And this is a real concern. I just want to put out to the other side, not only do we have existing local businesses that need to ramp up and have power and residences, the future. We've got Project Jerry, which is the hydrogen for BP. Now, they did a project for a test site at Nangaloo, and power came up as their main constraint. So they've been moved down to Kwinana to do their testing down there. So that's something that's a loss to our system. We also have Project Haber, which is a project with billions of dollars for industry. So if that project and when that project gets off the ground, that will actually be able to take care of 2/3 of the urea needs for Australian farmers. It is massive. So their constraints are power. So we ask government, what are you considering to do? And we certainly hope that there's no discouragement of businesses, to go and set up down in the southwest. We want them here in the Midwest. It's been a region that's been forgotten about for a very, very long time. And I guess from all of this that I've just spoken about, it's a real call to action for our businesses, for our members, to join the chamber and help us, really, really lobby into government for an improved power system and give us a plan, because at the moment the system that we have has become very vulnerable, because when you've got a coal load feeding into a system, it's very constant. But, as we know, coal is going to be turned off in the future. So we're going to rely on renewables. The Midwest produces way more than it needs currently. Where are we going to feed that to? If we're going to feed that back down into the southwest, you're going to need a reliable infrastructure to do that. And, the chamber is through the hydrogen hub that we're leading here in the Midwest is looking to get infrastructure in place for our pipeline opportunities for businesses, but also for our local region. It's really, really important that we in the Midwest become that squeaky wheel to say, we need better to plan for our future. Yeah,
all right. So that's the big question then. So you're asking businesses, hey, join up with the Midwest Chamber of Commerce and Industry, help lobby the government to make changes, because we know as well there's a lot of people moving to regional WA, a lot of people looking to move to the Midwest as well. And if we we don't have the power now, it's going to be very tough for more people to move here, more businesses to open up. So businesses out there, Midwest Chamber of Commerce of Industry. And is there any other way that people out there could kind of help the cause, lobby, ask for change for regional WA?
Absolutely. So there's many, many ways that we can do that. And through the chamber is probably the key way we would like to engage with people. So, just jump onto our website, our Facebook, our everything, and come and have a chat with us in the office. We will be setting up a link on our website so people can actually talk about their power issues, what it's meaning for their businesses and the detriment. So we'll be tabling all of that in front of our government, because this is probably one of the major issues that will be a barrier to our growth here in the Midwest.